What's going on, my friends? This is the final version of the best elite value for each attribute in NBA 2K25. We did this about 3.5, 4 months ago, and it is actually the most viewed video on the channel. So thank you very much for that. This is going to be the final version of it. We're in June of 2K25, and I fully understand every single attribute in this game. The best value for every single attribute that you see on the screen right now, we are going to go over. Hopefully we go through this a little quicker than we have in the past. I'm not going to go in order necessarily. I'm just going to tell you what I think right off the bat. So if you enjoy this content, leave a like, subscribe if you are new. We're on the road to 3,000 subs. 2K26 is around the corner. Hopefully this is a place where you can come to once we start getting some information on the game. But until then, we're going to review this game and what it was this year. So let's stop the yapping and let's get right into it. Off the rip, let's talk about defense, because I think this is probably the easiest one to do in my opinion. 85 perimeter and 85 steal was by far and away probably the most elite value for an attribute in 2K25. If you wanted to be a decent defender, you definitely needed good speed and agility. So if you were able to get good speed and agility, you were a good defender at 85 steal and 85 perimeter. If you wanted to go up a little bit more for steal, which is about 91, you can. I always say that if you're someone that goes for more steals through the air, you're fine at an 85. But glove silver was still pretty good. But if you didn't like what you were getting out of glove silver, I definitely think glove gold is worth it. It felt no different to me than Hall of Fame, in my opinion. But definitely a very, very good value here. 85, 85. Like I said, probably the best value that 2K had to offer for an attribute category this year. So we'll start off pretty easily with that. The next one that I want to talk about is going to be dunking. I used to say that 65 was the best elite value. I've changed my mind since then. I think comboing up the 73 driving dunk with the 65 vertical is definitely the best value for driving dunk. You couldn't really catch bodies at posterizer. You really didn't at all. Like bodies, you know what I'm saying? Like crazy dunk animations, but you were still able to, avoid contact and get your 2 points at the rim with posterizer on bronze. The best point guard that I made this year for Pro-Am has a 75 driving dunk. I went up the extra 2 just to see what I could get at a 75 driving dunk, but you're fine with a 73. I mean, you get like Luka Doncic, I think, which if you know anything about Luka, he doesn't really get off the floor. And so with his dunk animations, whether you're 6'4", 6'2", or 6'8", you're still not going to get off the floor a whole lot. So not really worth it going up those extra 2 points there, but 73 driving dunk with the 65 vertical to me was definitely a great sweet spot for driving dunk this year. We can stay here for just a little bit longer. I think when it comes to layup, I think 75 was very, very good with the 60 strength. Let's see what this looks like. So if you go up to a 60 strength, you're going to be able to get physical finisher on bronze, which is more than enough. Float game on bronze, which if you know anything about the RNG in this game and how awful it is for 2K to be doing that, float game on bronze will go in most of the time. Considering it's a bronze badge, that's kind of crazy. And then last but not least, layup mix master. Anytime that you just alter your shot, you're probably going to make it, which is kind of crazy, considering that it's only bronze and it's only a 75 driving layup. All 3 of those badges at the bronze level is fine. If you're someone that goes in for contact layups, then by all means put up physical finish. Put physical finisher up more. Jeez, tongue twister. Float game. If you're someone that shoots floaters a lot, by all means go more. If you're someone that wants to be like Derrick Rose and Kyrie Irving and alter your shot in midair because that's sick, then by all means go more. But if you're someone that's not doing that, but you want the ability to do it at least a little bit, bronze was more than enough for layup this year in 2K25. Next, let's get right into pass. 75 to me was very, 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 very good. 78 if you wanted to make quicker passes, or not quicker passes, but around defenders better. I think Versatile Visionary is okay. I do think that this is a overrated badge in 2K. Not nearly as overrated as I once thought, but worth having on bronze. You know what I'm saying? And then if you're someone that does bailout, 85 is plenty. So 85, 78, and 75 to me are the three elite best value passes in 2K25. I used to like 71. Obviously 71 is better than 65. But I think 75 is just really, really good. Break Starter Silver, you're throwing bombs with 75 pass and Break Starter Silver. Dare I say, badge +1, your tier 2 badge to gold, and this is unbelievable still. So 75 pass, 78 pass, and 85 pass were the three elite values for pass this year. Ball handle, I'm honestly going to tell you right now, 85 ball handle is not worth it. 86 ball handle is not worth it. 81 was sweet. As long as you had Kawhi Leonard behind the back as a taller guard, or the Devin Booker aggressive move on a tall guard, you were set after that. You didn't even need anything else, in my opinion. Obviously, I think the T-Max stuff was pretty good at 85 or 86 or whatever that was, but as long as you have Devin Booker and Kawhi Leonard, those two dribble moves, the behind the back for Kawhi and the aggressive move for D-Book, I think that those were all you needed. So 81 felt really good for tall guards with the 75 speed with ball. But if you wanted to be a little faster, I think 86 speed with ball and 81 handle was really, really good. My favorite build this year was a 6'6 shooting guard with 81 ball handle and 86 speed with ball. I think that was glitchy. I'm not going to lie to you. I think that was very, very glitchy. I put my cap breakers on ball handle when I hit vet 2 because I didn't make the build, correctly all the way back in September. I didn't make a build in September thinking about 15 cap breakers. But if I did, I would change that. I wouldn't put my ball handle to an 86. I would have kept it at an 81, but I didn't. But I'm glad I did because I could test out 86, 86, and to me, it's not worth it. For little guards, it's hard for me to sit here and say, 92 ball handle. Like I really do think as a small guard, you need Steve Francis. It's too good. It's honestly too good. It makes your 86 speed with ball here, feel perfect. To be honest, I think 91 is better, obviously, but 95 ball handle was elite. You didn't need to go above this. You don't need unpluckable on gold, or excuse me, on Hall of Fame. 95 was perfect. 92 is cool if you want to, spare a couple points, but you're so close to 95. You have cap breakers, and only using 3 cap breakers there, let's say, more than worth it. So I think 95 was elite for little guards. Obviously it's elite, but there's just no reason to go less than 95 for small guards this year in 2K25, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to shooting, there's no reason to not have 99 shooting. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're someone that wants to dunk nonstop. But to me, I want to be able to shoot. I've always been someone that wants to shoot. You don't really need to go above 85 midi though, especially if you're someone that shoots more threes. If you're someone, like me, I wanted to abuse midis and have a 99 midi on a 6'6 build. That's one thing. That's fun. But you want to spare some points. Your 85 midi feels like a 90 something, low 90 midi with a 99 3. So if you go 85, especially as a small guard, I'm not sure why you wouldn't have a 99 3. Getting mini marksman, or I guess if you're 6'2, you can get mini marksman. It's bad badge, in my opinion, overrated badge, but you do need set shot. You do need shifty. You do need deadeye. You do need limitless to an extent. And the higher that you have those badges, the better. None of these badges were bad this year. Shifty was good. Set shot was good. Limitless was fine. Deadeye, was good for the most part. So, as a little guard, I don't know why you would have less than a 99 3 in my opinion. But 85 midi was definitely the number to be at for midi. For 3, 96. Whatever it takes to get all this on Hall of Fame is fine, in my opinion. Legend can be overkill, but like I said, with how many cap breakers you could get this year, there's no reason that you shouldn't have a 99 3 as a shorter guard. As a taller build, 89 3 was a good sweet spot if you had, you know, at least a 96 midi. That way you could get all these badges you see here: Shifty, Set Shot, and Deadeye. Hall of Fame for taller builds. 96 midi and 89.3 was really, really good this year. Next, Standing Dunk. I mean, Standing Dunk is always kind of cheeks. You really just need 40 if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, let's make it so you can actually see the badge. If you don't really know what you're doing, you know, Rise Up Bronze was you know what I'm saying, was plenty. Rise Up on Bronze is more than enough. Makes dunking easier when you're under the basket. How many times are you under the basket enough to get this to activate? I don't know, but you know, a 40 dunk, you could get it to active. You could just go up. You couldn't get Rise Up to activate because you don't have it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you can be just as effective with a 40 dunk as a 72 dunk because, you know what I mean? Because it's glitchy. So 40 was plenty. If you really wanted to be glitchy, you only need Rise Up on Bronze, in my opinion. I don't really know about post control, to be honest with you. Sorry, I didn't really have any builds with post control. To be glitchy, like, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it takes to get these things on silver is fine, probably. Like that. Like, I feel like these are probably good there. This is probably the one stat that I just don't know. Because unless you're trying to be an absolute glitch demon, you're going to have high post control just because you want to be glitchy. But, you know, if you want to have a little bit of post control, you know, you could have, let me see, you could have a 80 midi with 79 post control and have post fade phenom on gold. That would be fine. So 79 maybe if you have a lot of midi. We already talked about layup. Close shot, this will finish up the finishing for us. Let me see, 84, man. I mean, with these finishing badges with RNG, it's like anything above silver you could argue is just overkill. So silver felt like a great spot. You're not really going to abuse close shot. You're not really going to abuse post control unless you're just a demon in this game. So 80, and any of these badges for close shot and post control, being able to get them on gold, or excuse me, on silver, maybe gold, is going to be your glitchiest spot for those. Free throws irrelevant, so we don't need to talk about that. Talked about pass, talked about ball handle, talked about speed with ball. Interior, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be 74. Always and forever. There's no reason to go more than that, in my opinion. You know, if you're trying to stop the glitchy post control people, then yeah, you probably need 82. But anything above 82 is just not worth it. I have a 6'6 build that's a back end or like a power forward build, and I have 88 interior. Definitely very good. Maybe I should say don't go above 88 because 88 is unbelievable. Let's just meet in the middle here and say 82 is the best one. I think that's fair. We've talked about perimeter. We talked about steal. Block. Man, officially block 74. Would not go higher than that. I don't notice a difference at all between high flying denier bronze and silver. I don't notice a difference at all. I don't notice a difference between, you know, silver and bronze for paint patroller. So 74 is the sweet spot this year for elite blocking. I have this on my 6'6 back end build, my power forward build that I just was talking about, and you know what I'm saying? You don't need any more than 74. 78 is cool. Maybe gets you extra something, but you know, your steal goes up a little bit. You know, there's no difference between 78 74, so to me it's just not worth it at all. So 74 to me is the sweet spot, to be honest with you. Where are we at now? Let's go. We can stay big. We can stay big here. Let's make him fat. Next, O board. I mean, rebounding, you got to be able to rebound. If you have high rebound on your build, you know, you got to have gold. If you don't have gold, you're screwed. Okay. You know, you're gonna get, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get box out beast gold, with an 83 strength and an 85 board. That might be the sweet spot, honestly, just because box out beast is pretty nice. But but maybe you just go 94, 94, 89 strength. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be pretty good. So it's a combo platter here. 89 strength with 94 board is pretty good. But if you're at a 94 D board, you might as well go 96 to get Hoff. You know what I'm saying? So 94 D board, O board with an 89 strength was probably the ultimate sweet spot this year. You know what I'm saying? That feels right. With speed now this is where it gets interesting, because speed was killer this year. Was absolutely killer. I will say agility 88 was unbelievable. Was very, very good. You had the chance to get slippery off ball with 92. And you know what? That's what it is. 92 speed and 88 agility was elite in 2K25. Elite. You were flying. Especially if you had takeover that upped either of these. Flying. All over the place. Half court, full court, flying. If you're a lock, I would just go as much agility and speed as you can. But for the most part, I would say 82 agility is a sweet spot for small guards, because you're small and you want your legend shooting badges, so 82 is awesome. But you also move pretty well, so I would say that's one sweet spot for little guards. Bigger guards, I feel like you gotta go 88, because that extra agility makes your 6'6" not feel nearly as slow, in my opinion. For speed, 92 is the ultimate sweet spot. You're not too slow. You're not crazy fast. You leave yourself enough wiggle room to have, higher attributes in other places. And depending on your takeover that you decide to use, you're going to have 99 speed when you have takeover. So very nice there, in my opinion. The ultimate sweet spot for strength. This is the last one, I do believe. I do believe. For guards, let me figure this out right now. For guards, 71. You know what I'm saying? 71. You get the best of both worlds with offensive badges like physical finisher, like I mentioned earlier. Strong handle, maybe you go 73. 71. You know what? 73. 73, because strong handle, I'm going to vouch for strong handle, for forever. As long as I'm making YouTube content, strong handle gold is the most worth it gold badge, all things considered, in 2K. That's a bold statement, but this badge is awesome. I love this badge. Probably my most underrated badge in 2K right here. I hope they bring this back. But with 73, you still get physical finisher, strong handle gold, unbelievable. Brick wall you get, and immovable you get. So I think 73 strength was the ultimate sweet spot in general this year. Now, obviously, if you want to set big body screens, you need at least 90 whatever strength, 91. But brick wall to me is very, very good. So I want, this to be Hall of Fame. But if you're a guard, 73 strength was really, really good. Like I said, if you want to rebound well, like I said earlier, that's probably your 89 strength. But then with your 89 strength, it's like, why not just go more, so you can get more rebounding, so you can get more brick wall, so you can get more box out beast. But that's just me. We got this done a lot quicker than in the past. So let me know what I got wrong. A lot stayed the same, like perimeter, steal, ball handle, speed with ball. Well, ball handle changed because 81 I love. But like dunk changed. The shooting changed. I used to think gold was really worth it, and I hate it. I think Hall of Fame is needed. But yeah, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Went through it pretty quick, kind of speed ran it. So if you missed anything, go ahead and play it back and, watch it again. You guys have been showing a lot of love and support this year. So thank you very much for that. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Peace.